Working. Hello, is there anybody there? I didn't hang it up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming to our kickoff meeting to cover our plan for support of the American Bus Association Marketplace in Cleveland, beginning the end of this week. Many of you may not even know what this is, so we're going to talk about exactly what's going on. We're going to talk about the role that we are playing in it, and then we're going to talk about how we are going to provide a superior travel experience for all of the guests of the marketplace. So as I said, we're going to talk about what the convention itself is, what we're doing in it, our expectations of excellence, and then we're going to get into the details of the schedule and routes, and then we're going to talk about some of the contingencies, who to contact. There's a bunch of folks that are playing here, and we actually are serving another transit customer for a lot of this, and actually a couple of different customers at different times. So we are not in charge of this necessarily like we have been in some other conventions. So we're actually working for somebody else, so we owe them our best possible product. We do have folks listening along at home as a webinar as well. We'll try to hold, or actually if you have questions here in the room, go ahead and speak up. And if you have questions on the phone, go ahead and speak up, and hopefully we'll be able to hear you. If not, we'll have time at the end of the session to address anything that hasn't come up. So what is this American Bus Association Marketplace? That's the official name. It is a convention. American Bus Association being one of the two major national and actually international representatives of the motor coach industry. The other being the United Motor Coach Association. But here you can see they hold an annual marketplace convention at different places in the country, usually this mid-January time frame. Last year was in Louisville, Kentucky. This year it's in our adopted hometown of Cleveland. Here you can see there are going to be more than 3,500 tour operators, suppliers, and exhibitors attending this marketplace convention. The intent of this is multifaceted, so there are going to be vendors on the floor, kind of doing a trade show, plying their wares, if you will, again, attributed to the tourism and motor coach operation industry. We also have the tour side of things, where Kim and some of her workers on the tour department side of the house all day long really have appointments with all of those vendors as well. So it could be hotel operators, it can be major restaurant chains, it can be the different destinations around the country, the Bransons, the visitor bureaus from everywhere. They come through and they try to convince Kim that we need to bring a bunch of trips there to support their local businesses. So that's what she's doing. And then actually there's going to be safety and maintenance forums, and then just different board meetings, things like that going on, different seminars along the lines as well. During this, Emily and some other folks are going to be taking part in the Certified Travel Industry Specialist Training Seminars, which actually is a certification for the tour industry. They need to do a certain number of credits, and this is one way that they can attend classes for those credits. So it's a huge event, a bunch of people attending it. We have a large presence, obviously, just because of its location, so we're taking more people than we traditionally would because it's really just a day trip up there, and some of us are going to be spending the majority of the time. So that's what the convention is. So what are we doing with it? And beyond participating in it as attendees, we are one of 5 transportation providers supporting this. We are providing the largest portion of it among the 5, so the other regional players up there, the Lakefronts, the Pioneers, the Barons, and BRT are the other major transportation providers for this event. And there's really 3 or 4 main roles that we are playing for the transportation. The first is shuttle service for the attendees. This is just the basic driving a route, getting them to and from their hotels in the convention center, similar to what we did in Pittsburgh back in November. Then there are other additional items that are going on for all these other side events that are part of the convention. So one of those is sightseeing trips. This is mainly taking place on Saturday, and there are 11 individuals going up for individual trips to these different venues around the Cleveland area. So the part of this is really Cleveland is showing itself off to the tourism and motor coach world, trying to, again, convince all of these tour operators to bring trips to Cleveland. So they're going to show off all the things like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the casinos, the nice restaurants, the House of Blues, the Christmas Story House and all those other random venues around Cleveland are rolling out their red carpet for all these tour operators on these sightseeing trips. So if you're doing those, you should have a packet that mimics what you have in your online portal, if you've looked at that, and then we're going to also just run through very generally what each of these trips is doing. And then there are some extra add-ons too on top of that. So there are things that are known as dine-arounds in the evenings. This again is usually sponsored by a certain entity, and they're either thanking tour companies like us for their business, or they're trying to lure future business. So places again like Branson, we're doing one actually for Temsa as a motor coach provider. We have, North Carolina and Tennessee visitor bureaus. So they again kind of load a bus up by invitation, taking them out to a nice event somewhere, on their dime, to again thank people for past business and to entice future business. So that's taking folks out for those. Anything else, Emily, that we're doing that I'm missing as just the general scope of things?
Well, the evening events themselves would be...
Okay, yeah, so there are some evening events that aren't special add-ons but are going to certain places, so you'll see those here in the future. The one evening event is going to be the Combined Science Center and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the other is a Nauticus down in the Flats Center. The Powerhouse, yes, the Powerhouse down there in the Flats is another going to be a big one. So that's really opening the door to all 3,500 attendees. Go to this nice nighttime event with food, drink, entertainment, those types of things. And again, it's kind of Cleveland showing the best that it has to offer for everybody participating. Our expectations for the event are to show the motor coach industry truly what a superior travel experience is. So down in Pittsburgh in November, it was the urban planning something or other, a bunch of people from around different cities in the country. They don't really know what the heck the difference between a bus and a motor coach or anything else is. These are all motor coach people that we're hauling. So again, we are here because we want to make this a top-rate event, and we need to set the standard because all of the top companies in the industry are going to be there. They're going to be riding with you on our vehicles. So if you look bad, we look bad. If the vehicle looks bad, we look bad. So again, we're wanting to make sure that it's a successful event, and we're going to do everything that we can to ensure it. And that's really starting with us being here today talking about this. So with that, we really do want to set a standard of excellence. That's going to start, as every trip starts, with how you present yourself. So we want to make sure that we are buttoned up and looking nice in our uniforms. So we expect everybody participating to wear their Anderson blazer. Or if for some reason it was warm enough, you could cut back to the vest. But let's plan on the blazer for the wintertime. Your good Anderson tie, regular slacks as part of your uniform, your safety shoes. If it's snowy and icy, your cleats as needed. And then we have our new winter coats, which everybody here most likely will get one. We're prioritizing the folks that are doing the shuttles, and then this is just kind of our initial first order, and then we're going to get the rest to cover everybody or the most people that we can that are participating in the event so that we all look nice and squared away. We'll talk about those at the end. We're also, again, wanting to make sure our vehicles look in tip-top condition. So we want to keep them clean throughout the day, and they should be thoroughly cleaned each night. These are fairly short trips from hotels to the convention center, even just to different sites. They're really all pretty much right around downtown Cleveland, so it really shouldn't be accumulating a whole lot of junk during the day. The biggest challenge might be if it's wet and sloppy, getting the floors dirty. But we do ask that every night they are thoroughly cleaned. And Doug, do we get anything back from Brecksville as far as being available for?
No, he went to talk to me on Thursday. They are not running a night shift now, but he did say that they would accommodate us in any way, shape, or form that they could. So
if we have a major cleaning that's needed for some reason, exterior or interior, Brecksville may be an option to us depending on their hours.
if it's going to be sloppy while we're up there and sloppy the next day, we're probably not going to wash them because they're going to get sloppy driving up from Brecksville. So, but again, if you keep the windows clean and decent, that's a good start.
Yeah. The cleaning crew is supposed to be outfitting each of the vehicles that you're taking up with extra interior cleaning stuff in the bin in the back. So again, make good use of that stuff to keep everything in tip-top shape. And of course, as always, we want it to be a safe event. So again, these people are motor coach people. They know if you're doing the right thing or not. So we want to make sure that you're driving smoothly and cautiously. We're not trying to set a speed limit in downtown Cleveland or speed record. And we do ask that you play the safety video on all trips. This actually is an American Bus Association emphasis item. So if we're up there supporting the American Bus Association and we aren't playing the safety videos, we're gonna look very bad. So we're gonna ask if you're doing the scheduled route and you have finished your last pickup at the last hotel en route to the convention center, hit the play button. If you've picked up at the convention center and you're taking people to the hotels, hit the play button, because there's not gonna be anybody coming and going after that. You're gonna get to hear lots of Doug's voice and get him worn out by the end of the event. But again, please, that's very important for the people that we are escorting.
Should we play down on the sightseeing?
Yeah, you're doing the sightseeing tours, you pull away from the curb, you should hit the play button for that. The nighttime events as well, you pull away from the curb, hit the play button for the safety video. So you can't play it too much, and if the videos are
We
worn
don't
out,
have to play continuously.
if you wear out the DVD, not continuously, but each route.
Just each of
So, yeah, you know, if you've done a pickup, en route to the destination, hit play. You don't have to do it after each hotel that you've picked up at, but after the last one, hit the play so that you get everybody that's on board, en route to the destination.
So basically, if you have a new group of people, any new people on the bus, you should play the safety video.
Yeah. And that would include, so for example, the nighttime events, you're gonna be taking them to the destination and then milling around and then bringing them back at the end of the night. That might be different people. So play it en route after you've done your last pickup to the destination, and then when you leave the destination, bringing them home, play again, because it's not gonna be the same. There's not assigned seating or assigned buses. It's just gonna be whoever filters on your bus. So again, you wanna make sure
So
that,
even on each shuttle route, do it
Yep.
as well, okay.
yep, can't play it
If
too much.
you're on the shuttle route, you're gonna have to do it just about every loop and figure out where your timing is, so you can start, the majority of the people get the majority of the, you know. So,
If you wear the video players out by the end of this, I'll be happy.
No, you won't.
I'd rather it be that way than hear that nobody ever played one, so, all right. And then, of course, our best foot forward with our regular high expectations of customer service. So we do ask the best that you can, assist passengers on and off the vehicles, understanding on kind of some of the scheduled route service, that's gonna be difficult if you pull up and there's 10 people standing outside in the line to jump on. As soon as you open the door, okay, you're kind of trapped. But at least, again, for the special events, the sightseeing trips, that kind of stuff, where it's a bit more controlled, do your usual, pull up to the curb, get off, assist people on. When you get to the destination, assist people off. Again, those things are noticed, and they do set us apart from the regular motor coach operator
Do you know
outfit.
if there will be anybody in wheelchairs on this, that we have to deal with, or have a special route for them?
we have not been told that there is.
Okay.
So, the majority of the conventioneers are either at the Hilton or the Marriott, and they are right beside the convention center. So there is no regular bus route service to those two facilities.
Okay.
The events in the evenings, nobody has reserved any handicapped vehicles from us. So I presume that they have gotten them from somebody else. So there is a transportation coordinator called Stewart Bus Services that will be coordinating all of the transportation. And I don't know, Chad and you guys may have done NTA down in Pittsburgh, and I think Ron Cooper helped out a little bit down there years and years ago. But that was Stewart Transportation that we did all of that for. They're the people that are coordinating all of this up there. So they're gonna be the people that will be saying where to stop, where to go, you know, get your butt out of here, all that kind of stuff. So,
Great, good question.
and when you've got capacity and, you know, when they wanna keep the buses moving, they'll be the ones that'll be dispatched.
There'll be somebody on the curb there that we're picking up.
Good question.
Now, maybe not at each one of the hotels that you're picking up at, because those are gonna be redundant, and they're gonna run pretty much all day long.
Okay.
Ryan, I think you have it in there, but there is an on-site dispatcher.
Yep.
And her number has been put in all the portals.
Okay. So we're gonna take a look at what the schedule is. We're gonna talk about the shuttles themselves. As Doug said, Stewart Transportation really, is our customer for the shuttle services. That on-site dispatcher, as Emily just referenced, her name is Bethany, and you said that her phone number,
Yeah, her cell
To
phone
being
number has
on-site?
been put in all the portals,
Okay.
so.
and to our understanding, she's gonna be at the front of the convention center, the main entrance. So again, if you were in Pittsburgh in November, the role Ron Cooper was playing, just make it a whole lot better looking and call her Bethany. And that's what she's going to be doing.
Tell Cooper that.
He would agree. Okay, Stewart has said that they have a plan to manage breaks for everybody who is on the route service. So that starting in the morning, they're supposed to say you're either going to be on Route 1 or 2, and you know that, and we're going to get to that here in a second. They should say, okay, bus 1, you're on break from time X to time Z, whatever that is. Continue to monitor that and continue to communicate where you stand on hours. We don't want people going over on their last route or en route back to the hotel. So proactively manage your hours. They are 12 to 13-hour shifts with obviously some break time in between there. But if you are on hour 6 of your assignment and you've accumulated 6 hours of driving time, you know that you can't do another 6 hours of driving time before you get to 10. So you don't want to say, sorry, I'm done, and not be able to serve the customer because you put yourself at hours. So again, be proactive with that. Work with them if you need to take a couple extra 10-minute or 15-minute breaks so that you can get to the end of your shift without affecting customer service. Be proactive with that, okay?
And again, given the fact that most of the hotel occupancy is within walking distance of the convention center, there are, I believe, only 2 buses on 2 routes for the whole convention. So we'll have, and there are relief buses that are scheduled. Not, 1 or 2 of them might be our buses. I know Rexall may have some relief buses, Pioneer may have some relief buses. Again, we are in control of all of this, but Stewart Transportation is.
And we'll get to the routes here in a second. The sightseeing trips, these are taking place on Saturday with 11 vehicles going on 11 different trips. These are a slightly different animal. For vehicles, if you're departing from here, they're going to have boxes of bags in them that contain a water bottle, a Cleveland plastic bag, and then a pamphlet that describes the trips that they're going on, the different sightseeing trips. Those are, upon arrival in Cleveland, to be set on each of the seats in the motor coach. So those will be boxed up for you departing here. Bus number 1, whoever's going out with that, the plan is there are going to be several vehicles that are spending the night up there the night prior. They're going to be loaded up on bus number 1 with those boxes for those extra vehicles that are already going to be up in Cleveland, since we won't be departing from here. So Doug, I, and Emily are all going to be there Saturday morning. We'll assist when lined up with getting things shuffled around, those bags distributed to the appropriate places, that kind of stuff. These trips are also going to have tour guides. So these are going to be local Cleveland people, either professional tour operators or part of the Destination Cleveland Convention or Visitors Bureau, who are, again, showing off their city to all of their guests in town. So you will have a tour guide working with you. They will be working or narrating the trip on these different trips as you go through Cleveland. These trips do have set routes that may or may not be the actual most expeditious way between point A and point B. That's again because they want to drive by certain places of the city. So if you just plug in a destination to your GPS and follow it blindly to where you're going, you may end up with a very upset tour guide because you didn't go by whatever points that they were wanting to show along the route. So we're going to have these routes. The routes will be in your portal with essentially turn-by-turn directions on how to get there. Yeah. So Tom has them. Those packets that you should have been handed really have those. Make sure you know those. That's, again, the reason we're here today early looking at that, so that you're comfortable with it. If you have questions, ask them beforehand. Because, again, don't just say, yeah, I know where whatever the Cleveland Christmas house is and go there, because that may not have met the customer's intent. Were you raising your hand, Emily?
A little bit. So when you guys, the sightseeing tour, the 11 buses that's going to be there, narrowly you're going to be number 1, but you're going to not only have a Cleveland tour guide, but there's going to be like 4 or 5 people, all from different Cleveland companies, whether it's a tour guide, it's a volunteer, somebody from Destination Cleveland. One of those people is going to give you a button to wear. You don't need to wear it for your sightseeing tour. That button is going to be the same color that is on your paper that I gave you. And it's all going to have a different, they're all named something different. So each one of the people that load onto the bus is going to have a ticket that is also in relation to the same color. We don't need to worry about the ticket so much as the people that are helping you out. So. You just sign, yes, you
again, we're gonna be there on site to help, as well as the Destination Cleveland people that morning.
And there are 4 or 5 independent tour companies that actually do inbound tours into Cleveland. I think the only one that we do any business for is Great Day Tours. And obviously we don't do a lot for them. So there's just lots of opportunities to expand our professionalism and make good inroads into Cleveland with this convention. So Cleveland is excited about it. The whole city's really, really excited. In fact, there was something that was just on the internet the other day that said that they think that this may be more valuable than the Republican National Convention to the Cleveland area because it's all about tourism. And of course, we want to play a bigger part of tourism and convention business up there in Cleveland. So that's why we already have a very well-established name and reputation in the Pittsburgh area, but we don't have that same reputation in Cleveland. So.
The big difference between this and the shuttles, we talked about Stuart and Bethany being in charge of the shuttles. We are in charge of our part of the sightseeing trips. So if anything happens on these, it's calling into dispatch just like normal on any other Anderson trip that you go on. Bethany's not going to care if you have a problem on the sightseeing trips because that's not her job. So.
Destination Cleveland has coordinated and set up all of these sightseeing trips. All of the people that are on those trips are going complimentary. So there will be food things that will be given to them. All of the admits are given away free because, again, they want to expose as many conventioneers to the highlights of Cleveland and make sure that all of that goes extremely well.
Yeah. And that ties into, we're going to cover how we have it lined up for the pickup on these sightseeing trips with 11 vehicles at once. But when you get to the destinations, they are all supposed to have parking assigned and available to you very nearby the venue. So again, they're rolling out the red carpet, so when you pull up to offload your passengers, you can expect that venue is going to have representatives out there with assisting people. You can talk to them if they don't have it clearly marked or coned off where they need you to stay and park. But they, again, are supposed to be making this as easy and expeditious as possible. The hotel for people staying overnight during this event is going to be the Days Inn down in Richfield, which again is very closely located to Brecksville Road Transport down there, so that again you are nearby if we do need a cleaning or any type of mechanical assistance on a vehicle.
Is that the one that's one of our pickup points for Anderson School?
Yeah, that'd be the pickup Days Inn. Yep, on Brecksville Road. So as I said, any type of problems that arise during this, if it is on the shuttles and you're delayed, you have a question about what's going on, again, talk to Bethany with Stewart Transportation, either with her cell phone or walking into the front of the convention center. Other types of things, you have a breakdown, you have a vehicle accident, those types of things, call in and talk to dispatch. We would rather know about major events here first and be able to tell Stewart or be able to tell whomever is affected what's going on and what our plan is. But keep the communication flowing overall. Mary Louise.
Are we having a call dispatch here, or we have an on-site dispatch?
No, it's going to be our regular dispatch here. So it'll either be Jim during normal weekend hours or then the on-call after that.
Which is Bob, I think, this weekend.
It will be Bob over the weekend, yep. We do have a lot of personnel in the area, and so I guess the other big point of going through this as a group is you have your one assignment that's in the portal and you think that's what you're going to do. Anytime you get this much going on in one place, you can guess something's going to change. There's going to be a failure of some sort. We're trying our best to prevent that, but things will be changed. So we want everybody to kind of be aware of everything else that's going on. So that's another reason that we're here together. So don't just kind of pay attention to your one little part and say, I got it, because you may not end up doing that if something changes. Doug and I are going to be up there as potential drivers. We're going to have mechanics up there taking part in seminars, so we are going to have some on-site vehicle support. So, we're going to do our best to handle every situation that arises, but things will remain fluid. So again, it's important to communicate because there is a lot of help very nearby to handle probably anything that may come up. Friday, what's going on? This is pretty simple. Probably our quietest day. Just these 2 shuttle routes. This is really just kind of the setup day of the convention. So here's who is participating and what's going on with their times. This is just a breakdown of what should already be assigned in your portal, so this should not be anything new to you. Saturday is the big day with the sightseeing tours. So we have the regular shuttles going on. We have the early shuttle that's really to get the staff into the convention center and get it up and running. And then the regular circular routes between the hotels. And then the 11 sightseeing trips all going to different places as discussed. And then finally on Saturday, the third piece is a couple of those dine arounds as we discussed earlier, the special events where people are being hosted to go out as thank yous. We're doing the CH Bus Sales, which is TEMSA, Mansion Entertainment, which is Branson, and the Visit North Carolina convention has hired us to take these people out to show them a good time. Sunday, the shuttle routes again, Route 1 and 2, the staff shuttle early in the morning. And then a couple of the evening events as discussed, or really the one evening event. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or really the Science Center, is the drop-off, and it's a combined event. So that's going on in the evening. Monday looks somewhat similar. Again, the staff shuttle and the regular Route 1 and 2. And then the evening event is the out to the Power Center, or Powerhouse, the Powerhouse. There's two, it's really the same route, but there's two different starting points for that evening event. So those of you who are on the Marriott Route 3, your first pickup's going to be at the Marriott Hotel. The others with the Hilton Route 3, your first pickup's going to be at the Hilton. And you'll have those routes, and we'll look at them here shortly. Those are getting them to the Powerhouse and then returning at the end of the evening. Tuesday, things are shutting down. The Route 1 and 2 again in the morning, and the staff shuttle is the only thing special going on Tuesday. I'm correct in that, Emily? No nighttime event on Tuesday? Okay. And then really we're done from that point on. People filter out of town starting Tuesday evening into Wednesday. So where are we? The convention center. Has everybody been there? Nearby? A couple of no's. Downtown Cleveland. I think it's the municipal building, or the main courthouse is up here. You have the Browns Stadium and the other stuff right here in downtown. Just south of 2. This is 9th Street here, I believe. How we're going to get there from where we're staying, you can see we're down south, the Days Inn in Richfield, straight up 77, up into downtown, and you can come down to get into the site. You can see that's about a 20-25 minute drive at least to get up there, and then back in each evening. Here's a sky view of, again, where it's located. North is up on this. So yeah, the Cuyahoga County Courthouse. It's kind of this big open green area. The convention center is underneath the green area. It kind of pops up out of the ground, or it's partially underground, if you will. That's what it looks like from Lakeside Avenue. And this is facing east, showing this is going to be, for the shuttles, our main pickup and drop-off right here in the front of the main doors. So off here on the side, drop off, people will be able to go directly into the center, and then you'll pick up here as well. There are supposed to be signs that are going to be placed. I'm not sure if they're sandwich board type signs or exactly what. They're going to say Route 1 and Route 2, so the people coming out of the convention center know where to line up, and you know where to pick up and drop off based on whether you're on Route 1 or Route 2.
And you can reiterate that at the door. There will be signs made for you to put into your buses to designate you as Route 1 and Route 2 also.
The hotel, that's where it looks, or that's where it's at. Should be fairly simple. Again, it's our Anderson Tour pickup and drop-off point in Brecksville. If you need to go to BRT, it's just right up the road, Brecksville Road to Snowville Road. It's right here. The Days Inn being right down here, just south of 80. And so the routes, those of you on the scheduled regular routes, this is direct again from Stewart Transportation, who is running this piece. Here they talk about assigning breaks. If you pull up to a hotel and there is nobody there to jump right on board, as it says, you're not supposed to wait any longer than 30 seconds. Most of these are street side pickup points, so you will slightly be blocking traffic. So you don't really just want to stay there parked half the day waiting for people to show up. and recognize that it's a regular circle, so if you stay in any one location for too long, you're delaying the rest of the people at the next pickup point that may be waiting for you. And yeah, Dave and Ray, if you have questions, ask. Bethany. Route 1, Hampton Inn, the Doubletree, and the Westin are the pickup points. You can read through these, but this is what it looks like on the map, with the convention center being here. Coming up here to 9th, hanging a right. They want you to pick up door side right here at whichever hotel that number 1 is.
On 2.
Okay. You'll take a left on Superior. Coming up to the Doubletree is hotel number 2. You're going to make that left-hand turn back onto Lakeside and then immediately stop again with the door on the right-hand curb next to the hotel, the Doubletree. Then you're going to come back up to 9th. You're going to make a left again. You want to make a right here at the next pickup at number 3, which is hotel what?
It's the Westin.
I had my notes here and I'm not looking at them. The Westin. Again with the door curbside next to the Westin. Then you continue on St. Clair. You're going to make a right on, this is Ontario, and then you're back here on Lakeside to the convention center, dropping off again right there on the curb, just like we saw in the picture. So just a big circle route, all the pickups out front of the hotels with the door on the correct curbside. Route number 2, the Drury, Renaissance, and Hyatt. So again, starting at the convention center, going up to 9th, hanging a right, the Drury is right here on the right-hand side again. Picking up directly out front of the Drury, continuing on, making a right on, I forget which road that is.
That'd be St. Clair. Rockwell?
Right on Rockwell, yep. The right on Rockwell, continuing up here to then hang a left on West 3rd. Left again on Superior, which immediately after making that left, pickup point number 2 is the Renaissance. Again, right out front of the Renaissance on the curbside. Continuing on Superior, which jinks around the square. On to point number 3, which is the Hyatt Regency. Again, right out front curbside of the Hyatt Regency. After that, you're making a quick left back onto East 6th. Up here to St. Clair, Ontario, back to Lakeside in front of the convention center.
You can see that everything's in really close proximity.
Yeah.
There aren't that many rooms at the Renaissance or the Hyatt. I think there's like 50 rooms at the Renaissance and maybe 75 at the Hyatt. And you can see how close the Hyatt is to where the convention center actually is. So it's unless there's really inclement weather, probably gonna have a lot of walkers. So just be careful of pedestrians downtown.
Sunday evening, the evening event out to the Science Center and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Here's the route. You can read through this. We're not going to go through every detail on all of these, but they do give you very specific points here. Don't follow the blue lines exactly, but this does show the points that you're going to.
We will have better maps for you. We just got these actual routes late yesterday afternoon, so we haven't had a chance to do all of the maps. The maps will be in your portal.
Yeah. This is picking up the Hampton, Doubletree, Westin, and then getting up to the Science Center. The drop-off point in this, and you'll see the notes, is at the Science Center, so you're actually, I guess, going to go past the Hall of Fame. Even though that is part of the event, the drop-off point is the Science Center.
I think the pickup location at the end is going to be the Hall of Fame.
Route 2 on Sunday, going to the same place, but again, the different hotel pickups, the Drury Inn, the Renaissance, and the Hyatt. So again, Drury Inn, Renaissance, Hyatt, then up to the Science Center. Monday evening's event.
Part of the problem we have with some of this routing stuff is that, you will see that there are some restricted no left-hand turns, but buses are exempt. And of course, we're gonna be doing most of this shuttle stuff at night, so you won't be fighting a whole lot of traffic and things like the guys that are running the regular routes, hotel to hotel to the convention center. These all start like at 6 or 6:30 in the evening for the night events. Yeah.
Cavs playing during this animal?
No, but Disney on Ice is in town, Cavs are not in town.
Because they turn all those left turn things on when the Cavs are playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Cavs are not in town.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes it easier.
But Disney on Ice is there for Saturday morning, so anybody, and there are a couple of you that are doing some of the major, athletic complexes in Cleveland. So those may pose some special challenges that we'll just have to kind of wing it and, you know, make decisions with the guide that's on board for you.
Monday's evening event is the Nautica Complex or the Powerhouse. Route 3 is picking up the Marriott in Hilton. This is where I said you'll see that you're a Marriott or you're a Hilton person, even though it's the same route. Just designating which one you're starting at.
But then upon return, they'll probably have you pick up people for Route 2, and you'll hit both of those, and then you'll get back to the Powerhouse to do another load, both of those.
Fairly straightforward. Marriott, Hilton. They do want you to come across 2 over the big bridge and then loop back around here to get down into the flats area. Tuesday's evening event is hosted by the City of Charlotte, which is where next year's convention is going to be. We're on Route 1, picking up the Hampton, Doubletree, and Weston. And this is actually just going then to the Hilton, is where the event's going to be held, which really is right next to the convention center. So this is just, again, more or less getting people next door to the convention center instead of to the convention center.
They may even have you drop off at the convention center because it's that close.
Yeah.
But, and there is a lot of construction directly in front of the Hilton Hotel. So half of Lakeside Boulevard or Lakeside Drive is actually under construction right in front of the convention center as well as in front of the Hilton.
Here's the Hilton. This is the convention center. So again, it is really right across the street. But to pick up the Doubletree, the Hampton, and the Weston to get people there for the evening event, and then back.
And that'll actually be that'll be the exact same route, pretty much, that we run, that Brian already went around, I think, with the Route 2 morning route and the Route 1 morning route.
On Tuesday, Route 2 is the same stuff, just picking up again the Drury, the Renaissance, the Hyatt. Drury, Renaissance, Hyatt, again over to the Hilton for the event. Okay, those are the routes, the day-by-day kind of stuff. The sightseeing tours, the 11 on Saturday. This is the lineup plan. You're assigned in the portal what vehicle number you are for this ordeal. Correct, Emily?
Yes.
And it's important that you stay in that order because that's the route that you've been given, the itinerary that you've been given. And that's the order that people are going to be looking for on the curb to get on the right vehicle. 4 of you, if you're entering from 9th onto Lakeside, what we're recommending is in front of the convention center on Lakeside, that's pretty wide open, before you get to the construction, which is over here by the Hilton. Line up there if you don't arrive in order. So if you know that you're bus number 4, but somehow bus number 8 left the hotel before you in the morning and is there, everybody line up in order or stop here until you can shuffle in order on Mall Drive. Mall is fairly tight or relatively tight, and we don't want people to be jockeying and backing up and trying to get in the correct order here in the tight area. So if you know you're out of order, stop up here in Lakeside before you turn down into here. So bus number 1, hopefully you should plan to depart the hotel in order. I'd recommend if you convoy up 11 buses in a row, that'd be great. If you can make everything happen,
But a lot of
try to
people are
plan on
coming
that.
out of Greenville.
And if people, if you're coming out of Greenville, there will be some shuffling. So use Lakeside Drive to shuffle, not Mall. Bus number 1, pull in around the right, make the right onto St. Clair, end of the block there. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will fit right there along the curb, nose to tail. And then 5 through 11 are lining up on Mall along the right-hand curb around the 90 degree of this Global Center.
At each one of the locations on the outside of the Global Center, and that might actually be...
This is the Global Center. This is Mall as you're looking at it as you had made the turn off of Lakeside. This is where
there are steps and access points all along this curb area here, and there are supposed to be no cars, and we're supposed to have that whole curb area all blocked off on a Saturday morning.
Yep. So this is where 5 through 11 will be. Around the bend onto St. Clair, along this curb is where 1 through 4 will be, starting up here at the end of the block and coming back. So that's what it's all going to look like.
You see the concrete walkways going out as you go away from the Global Health Center. That's, if you can line up your front doors at each one of those, they'll give you nice accesses, and then if you get down by where the big arch is in here, there's again a big flat plaza area, so you can get front doors and back doors and kind of be blocking stuff a little bit.
So you arrive in order, you get parked up. This is where your tour guides are going to come meet the vehicle. This is where we're going to get the bags placed on all the seats. And the tour guides or Destination Cleveland are going to have your numerical sign for what vehicle number you are to get slapped on the side. And then they'll just be awaiting everybody to get loaded up. These are assigned seats, so the people who are coming on these trips have already been assigned to these trips, and each vehicle pretty much is assigned to be full. So you will have a full load, just unless there are some no-shows or people had a few too many drinks at the powerhouse the night before or whatever it was.
And this is
But
Saturday morning?
This is Saturday. Yep.
This is the sightseeing tour
The
sign off.
11 sightseeing vehicles.
Yep.
The trips, again, this is directly out of the paperwork that's in your portal, but this is, as we said earlier, where you need to pay attention to the step-by-step directions on how to get from point A to point B, because they do want to go by certain places. We're not going to go through this entire thing because there's 11 of them, but know what you've been assigned to do and how you're going to get there and the directions that you need between points to do it correctly. Sightseeing trip number 2 from a different company in a different order, but tells you where you're going and when you're supposed to be there. Trip number 3, going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, House of Blues, and some other places. These are all kind of themed type events. So the athletic ones are geared kind of towards student and athletic group operators. There's ones that are historical buildings, there's ones that are museums, so they are focused on the different things that Cleveland has to offer and the different types of tour operators that are out there. Again, your step-by-step directions to where you're going. Number 5, again, step-by-step. For everywhere you're going, this one's going Progressive Field, First Energy Stadium, Quicken Loans Arena, so this is the athletic one. Sightseeing 6, Museum of Art. Museum of Natural History. Nighttown. Sightseeing number 7, History Center, Botanical Gardens, and a couple other things. Number 8, St. Michael's Church, Playhouse Square, Hermit Club, Hofbräu House. No, you may not drink.
These are very tight itineraries too, because we're trying to show everybody just a real quick snippet.
Number 9, some studio. Jack Casino. Number 10, in map form, this is just one part of it. There are more breakdowns that show the rest of the route, but again has the chandelier. You can see they're wanting to drive by the big chandelier thing that's near Playhouse Square or in Playhouse Square. The Jack Casino, the aquarium, all the other types of places that again they're wanting to go to or go by. Number 11, again the casino, and on to a few other places that you'll see in your paperwork for that. Questions on the big picture of things? Ed?
On those individual tours that were all signed, you said there's a chance we might get bumped around and maybe have to go do one of the others?
You just never know. Again,
Should
we don't want
print
that to happen.
Should we print out all that stuff and have it with us?
No. We're going to have extra hard copies on scene, or actually specifically Emily will, because she's running this show. But yeah, so we'll have hard copies. If we have to make a swap, we'll be able to hand you, hey, here's what you're doing now. So no, we can't ask you to memorize 11 routes or be familiar with 11 routes.
We don't, and really, we don't anticipate that there's going to be a lot of swapping things around.
Besides that, there's a step-on guide on each one, okay? So.
If you don't know, you didn't get that, or get me that.
I don't know if you want to count on that.
I
We
think
sat in on
somewhere
some
in
of
there, the Christmas house.
some of the, sightseeing,
tight and hard to get turned around.
They're supposed to have it designated.
the people that set them up aren't necessarily the people that are going to be on the tours, and so, as you depart, the health, center, they want everybody to depart, westbound on St. Clair. So as you come out, and if you're on Mall, if you're 5 through 11, make that right-hand turn and go. And then that's how all of the directions should start, as being westbound on St. Clair. Even though you may go around the block and head back out Euclid or something.
Yep. Those are certainly a good morning. If part of your regular pre-trip habit is not to check the handheld microphone in the PA system, please do so that morning, because you know you're going to have a tour guide who's going to be planning on using it. And so make sure that it's working for you properly. Adjust the volume so you don't get the ear squelch, deafening squeal the first time they click the mic, all that kind of stuff. So think about those things for this type of event. Okay, so just some takeaway keys. We certainly are here because we want to personify professionalism for this entire event. That starts, as we said, with your personal appearance and your demeanor, how you present your vehicle and keeping it clean and orderly, and then, of course, your professional driving. So really shouldn't be expecting anything other than what you do on a daily basis, but this is just a case where we don't want to let ourselves down or anybody else down, because, again, everybody's going to be watching. Last year in Louisville, one of their local operators, as we were there, we got on a vehicle that had a seat in the rear that had really rusted free from the floor. Would have been out of service in an inspection, and they're hauling around motor coach people at a motor coach event and that type of vehicle. Not to mention they were old and dumpy and dirty, and so that stuff's noticed, and we are trying to avoid that. And then, of course, communicate. So there's a lot of moving pieces to all of this, as you can see. If you have questions, ask them. It's better to ask a question than to try to guess and guess wrong. There are people there, whether it's Bethany for Stuart or Emily and dispatch and the rest of us, for the rest of our pieces to get you the answers that you need. If anything does go awry, be certain to call. Again, you cannot over-communicate, and we'd rather know well before, if something has happened, before we hear about it from the customer, saying, hey, what's going on with your vehicle, whatever, and we're going, I don't know, what are you talking about? So be sure to communicate, and of course, number one key is being safe driving. Again, last year in Louisville, the local operator got lost in his hometown of Louisville and came to a dead end and backed up through an intersection. And everybody on board the motor coach is going, he's backing, what the heck is he doing? But he's backing through an intersection, you gotta be kidding me. Didn't get out to look, didn't do any of that kind of stuff. So again, it will be noticed. So be safe, be conservative.
And you're gonna be surrounded by other buses that aren't our buses, so just keep distances as much as you possibly can. I personally have experienced 2 accidents on sightseeing vehicles where one person cuts corner and takes the left rear corner out of another bus. So just be cautious, be careful. In addition to all of the logistics that's going on outside, because we want to make a very stellar impression outside as well as inside, we're going to have our bus number 22 on the floor of the convention hall, and we're going to have our ENT bus on the floor of the convention hall. So Chad and Paul are leaving early tomorrow morning to stage the buses on the convention hall already. So that's so we're going to have lots and lots of personnel up there, watching and looking and seeing. We think it's a great opportunity for us to impress Destination Cleveland, to be there much the same way as Visit Pittsburgh. We're kind of their go-to convention people because Coach USA has screwed it up so many times and Butler has screwed it up a bunch of times that they really prefer us to be the convention hauler down there. So we want to make sure that we do a really good job up here in Cleveland and get ourselves a little bit more acclimated to the downtown area of Cleveland. The last time we did a very large convention here was with NTA, which was probably back in maybe the late 90s. And downtown Cleveland didn't have any hotels in the area, so we were running clear down to Independence, we were going clear out to Beechwood. People had very sour taste in their mouth with Cleveland as a destination for convention business. Much different area now. All of these transportation shuttles for the nighttime events, as well as for the hotel shuttles, are really short and close, which means that everybody's going to be in a pretty tight area too with a lot of buses. I think for some of the evening events there may be 35 buses running, and we may have 10 for some of those evening events.
Great. Well, thank you all. Our last piece of business is to get our new jackets that you've mostly all tried on. But we're very proud of these. And again, part of looking professional for the convention is having these nice new winter jackets as part of our uniforms for the cold weather. So you can see they did come out pretty nice. We modernized our logo a little bit based on the new graphics on 21 and 22 of our vehicles. So we have these here assigned to you. The rules for the jackets. These are accountable items to you, so kind of like your blazers. When you retire 30 or 40 years from now, you will be asked to turn these back in. In the meantime, we ask that you keep them clean. So laundering is on your own. Wear of the jacket is not to replace the blazer, but it's to go over top of the blazer. So we still ask for the rest of your attire to be in accordance with our dress code and professionalism, but over top. To help you out in the cold weather, so you, again, look professional outside the vehicle as well. They do have a zip-out liner. The exterior in warmer weather can be worn without the liner. Please do not wear just the liner alone, okay? It's just a kind of a dumpy looking fuzzy liner, but it keeps the vest warm or the jacket warm in cold weather. When it's combined in warm weather, you can take it out and wear the exterior. We also ask you to have the hood. If you're not actively using the hood, it does zip off, so please do so and stuff it in a pocket or something to keep it inside if you don't need it. Again, it just looks much more professional to not have the hood on if it's not a day where you need to have it up. So keep track of that. Again, you'll be accountable for both the liner if you do take it out and the hood if you take it off for turning them back in 30 years from now.
I think they're water resistant.
Yeah, they are nice, water resistant. You've got some side pockets, you've got hand pockets, so they are pretty nice jackets. Hopefully you'll find them useful. But we'll get those issued out here to you. We have them by size for I think everybody who's here, and then we're going to prioritize the rest of the folks as needed, with the shuttle individuals being first priority. We do just have kind of a limited run because Stitch Art was not able to get us all 70 that we need for the entire workforce, so we're prioritizing everybody who's taking part in the convention first to get these issued out. So congratulations for being here today. Those of you watching or listening on the phone and watching the video later, we're going to have them put out in the driver's room with a sheet with your name on them, so the next time you come in or when you come in to depart for the convention, grab your coat so that you have it with you for that.
Will we need to have the restrooms operational for this? If it's cold, you know how we don't have any fluid in there, are we gonna need to have them?
Yeah, they will need to be,
Okay.
but they're not gonna get used